Hello everyone, this is Bertina Amy here and welcome to my channel. In today's video of DIY art, I thought it would be kind of fun to DIY your own butterfly design. It's kind of a continuation of a previous video where I show you how to draw your very own butterflies. So here I'm starting off with the body of the butterfly first, starting with the head, making it kind of like a circle, and then doing the body as sort of like parallel lines. Instead of being completely straight though, they're slightly curved outwards away from the body, and then a little bit of a tail that's also curved at the end. They're kind of like parallel lines as part of the body, but they're, like I said, the curves are facing outwards. I've always wanted to design my very own butterfly completely from scratch, including the design and everything, that I wanted to feel like it was completely an original drawing and everything. So I really hope that this video inspires you to kind of come up with your own butterfly design that you're proud of as well. Now, I know a lot of us, when we're trying to create anything or do anything ourselves, we're trying to be perfectionists, right? So it's okay if you make errors. In fact, you can see that I often mess up and I will erase and fix and erase and fix. But there comes a point that you have to stand back and realize, you know what, it's going to be fine. So the next part is, once the body is done, I like to add the antennas. You can make them more swirly than mine. You can do whatever comes to mind. Make it fun so that you enjoy it, okay? And then after that, it's time to draw the wings. Now, I will tell you that I have always been able to draw things from a visual, but I've never been able to draw something from my own mind. And I was trying to design this butterfly out of what I pictured in my own mind as a butterfly. And I know there's like generic looking butterflies, and there's all these various styles of butterflies. Go with what you're imagining and try to recreate that if you'd like. Or if you're not confident, or if you'd rather just kind of mimic mine, that is totally okay, because every time someone recreates something, even if they're trying to mimic someone else's, no two pieces are ever going to be exactly alike. So just have fun with it, and I would love to see what you guys come up with. So I think for me, the hardest part of a butterfly is designing wings that I actually love, because when I do my generic wings, or if you watch my video on drawing butterflies, you'll see that I have, I think it's like 8 different designs or styles of butterflies that I just kind of randomly came up with, just to give you an idea of like how to alternate or alter rather the different wing styles or shape styles of the body, etc. So here I was going by like taking it a step further, and instead of having straight body, I wanted it more curvaceous. And I think, like I said, the hardest part really is the butterfly wings. I always felt the wings that I would create in general, even in that last video, as just mediocre, nothing really fancy or exciting. So I'm hoping that this comes out better. For me, I can tell you that designing even the wings is probably one of the harder parts of coming up with a butterfly design that I'm personally satisfied with. So it took some time for me to kind of play around with some different ideas, hence the previous video that I made on butterflies, and just to come up with an idea, imagining what I'd like my butterfly to look like. And then I got inspired by this book that I had lying around for quite a long time, that'll show up later in the video, to come up with the remaining part of the design, because wings have different patterns. So I have honestly gotten really stuck on coming up with a design for the wings just that I would be happy with or whatever. And so when I thought about it, I thought, ooh, I could just use this book that I have on hand that is actually suggesting ideas for artwork for kids up through a certain age, and I'm like, why not go ahead and use this myself just as an experiment? Think of art as a way to experiment with different ideas and thoughts and things like that until you come up with a way that you love when you create it, if that makes sense. And have fun with it. As always, have fun with it. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. Once you're totally satisfied with the way your butterfly looks, this is the time to go ahead and solidify the lines. And you can do that by simply taking a Sharpie and just going over all those lines. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process as well. A lot of butterflies that I've seen where I look at their patterns and things like that, they generally have this sort of, I'm going to call it sort of like this inner wing design. It kind of loosely follows the outer line, if that makes any sense. When I say loosely, I mean like it has a lot less curves. It's just very, very basic looking. So I go ahead and do that. And it's narrow, it's not very wide. And usually that area from the butterflies I've seen are colored in all black. And then there's like all these little circles inside it. But anyways, I'm kind of doing the same thing before I go ahead and do the next part with a pattern. Once you're done solidifying those lines, the next step is going to be the fun part. It's going to feel maybe a little uncomfortable at first because it's going to feel like you're ruining your butterfly, but trust me, it's not. It's actually part of the design of the patterns that you'll see in the wings. So you're going to take your pencil and you're just going to throw in a bunch of circles, swirls on the wings. And I chose to do the wings alone. And this part of this challenge was from looking through this book that I have. And it actually suggests to do it through the body of the butterfly. I opted out of that. You can choose to do either one. And I just kind of just went loose with it. Be loose with your pencil. Have fun with it. If anybody is watching that enjoys sports, the best thing to do with a sport is to have fun. And you should treat art the exact same way. And why not with life as well? So now you're going to select your colors and paint it. And I'm going with watercolor just because I like that it will flow into itself, especially because I have my sort of art table on a tilt, which will actually encourage colors to kind of spill into itself. And I like that because I think it creates unique, beautiful work. So I'm going with my favorite 3 colors. And that's cool colors, purple, green, and blue. So feel free to use brighter colors if you prefer, like orange, or warm colors, orange, red, or yellow. And decide how you want to go through the process of painting this. I am choosing specific sections. You don't have to go through and color in the very tiny little details that you've now created with those swirls and circles and lines and things. You can take chunks and decide this whole section is going to be this color, this other section could be this color, and so on and so forth. And that's going to create your unique design. And just remember, it does not need to be perfect. Both wings do not need to look exactly like the other one. So just have fun with it again and just keep going until you feel that it looks good to you or that you're satisfied with it. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. If you want stronger shades of color of your watercolor, go ahead and put a second layer on top with the same shades. Just know that while the paint is still wet, that is going to encourage, especially if it's on a tilt, it's going to encourage the paint to spill into itself. If that doesn't interest you or you're worried about it not looking good, then you're welcome to do it on a flat surface. I'll give it time to dry and then go back over it later. It'll help prevent it from spilling into itself. But it is so fun just to see what it turns out to look like once it's dry if you do let it spill. I highly recommend encouraging imperfections by the use of watercolor paints, but at the same time, I also encourage people to make their own choices and allow them to learn from their experiences. So go ahead and do what feels right for you. For the body of the butterfly, I really wanted this butterfly to have more of a sort of a turquoise color. So I go ahead and paint green and blues into it. And I decided to also give it some dimension by adding in some black watercolor as well for the outsides. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. Once you're done painting your butterfly, go ahead and give it time to dry. And I'm going to show you this book right here. is the inspiration for this video, and I'm going to show you what they did. And it's hard not to look at it and say, oh my gosh, they did such an amazing job. I wish mine looked like theirs. So if you're stumbling upon this video and you're trying out this idea and you're looking at my work or this book's and you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I wish mine was just like theirs, stop right there. Don't do what I did. Try to appreciate the creation that you made and be proud of what you were able to accomplish. Okay, so everyone's skill level is going to be different, and please don't be so negatively critical against yourself. Okay, I highly recommend against negativity about yourself when it comes to art, because art can be so healing. So because of course I was being self-critical, I decided to go back into my artwork, and I take this gold Sharpie and I go ahead and highlight areas that I wanted to highlight. So my process for deciding whether or not my artwork is finished or not is deciding whether or not I personally like it or not. And I felt like my wings were still incomplete in some way, so I decided to go back into the painting and I decided to thicken up those gold markings. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. And just a friendly reminder, when you're trying to create your own butterfly design and you're in the process of coloring it and things like that, you don't have to follow my exact process for things. If you are satisfied with your painting before the part of where I actually add in the gold markings, you can say it's done by then. Each artist is allowed to decide when their artwork is complete, and that is totally okay. So from my point of view doing this butterfly, I decide that the gold wasn't enough. I wanted to add in my black Sharpie again because I wanted to make certain areas pop. So I go ahead and take my Sharpie and give it more dimension by adding in darker areas to the butterfly's design. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. You'll also notice too that I went ahead and added black dots to the edges or near the edges of the wings in certain areas. In this next part, I take a white gel pen with the attempt to go ahead and highlight the black circles. Unfortunately, this came out to be a bit of a fail. So for whatever reason, black Sharpie, I guess, does not want to cooperate with my white gel pen, or the white gel pen's not wanting to cooperate. Regardless, I decided to switch gears and take the silver Sharpie to go over the areas that I wanted to highlight within the black circles. I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the process a little bit. So once I finished doing all of that, I looked at my painting and I decided it was finally done. I really like the way this turned out, and I would love to know what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and it gave you some value, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.